There's a certain kind of pain that doesn't leave bruises. You can't show it to anyone, but it eats you from the inside. It's when someone twists your emotions until you start doubting your own mind. They make you feel guilty for things you didn't do and weak for feeling anything at all. The Stoics had a word for breaking free from this: apatheia. Not apathy in the cold sense, but a calm, unshakable detachment that gives you power. And today we're going to talk about how to use rational detachment to beat emotional abuse. Not by fighting harder, but by thinking clearer. Before we begin, remember to like and subscribe if you're on the path to mastering yourself, not just surviving the chaos around you. Let's dive in. Number 1, understanding emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is manipulation that targets your peace. It's when someone plays with your emotions to control your reactions, guilt-tripping you, gaslighting you, or making you feel like your feelings are the problem. Unlike physical abuse, it's silent and clever. You start walking on eggshells, adjusting your personality just to avoid conflict. That's not love. That's control disguised as care. The Stoics taught that pain doesn't come from what happens to us, but from our judgment of it. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Emotional abusers thrive on your confusion because confusion makes control easy. Once you start seeing the pattern, the illusion weakens. The first step to detachment is awareness, realizing that their words are projections, not truths. Here's a simple truth. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how much access they get to your peace. Once you see emotional abuse for what it is, a power game, you begin to step outside the cage. And funny enough, abusers hate that look in your eyes, the one that says, "You don't control me anymore." If you've ever noticed how calm people scare manipulators, that's no coincidence. Calmness means they can't reach your buttons anymore. So stay calm. Smile when they expect a reaction. That's stoicism in action. Quiet rebellion with class. And yes, humor helps too. Next time they try to guilt trip you, just think, congratulations, you've unlocked level 3 manipulation. Then move on with your day. Number 2, the power of rational detachment, seeing without absorbing. Rational detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you start seeing feelings for what they are, signals, not commands. The Stoics practiced this daily. When insulted, they paused, observed the emotion, and chose not to feed it. That pause is your superpower. It's where self-control begins and abuse loses its grip. Think of your emotions as waves. When someone throws stones at the water, the ripples come, but they fade if you don't chase them. Rational detachment helps you recognize that not every emotional wave deserves a response. It's not coldness, it's emotional intelligence with armor. Here's something powerful. When you stop reacting, the manipulator loses their fuel. They get frustrated, confused, and eventually expose themselves. They'll say, "You've changed," and you'll reply calmly, "No, I've just stopped giving you the reaction you wanted." That's Stoic poetry right there. You must train your mind to separate facts from feelings. The fact, someone insulted you. The feeling, anger, hurt, betrayal. But between fact and feeling, there's choice. Choose peace. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." And honestly, the Stoics were the original unbothered kings. And when it gets hard, remember, even Stoics had emotions. They just refused to let emotions drive the car. They sat them in the passenger seat and said, "You can talk, but I'm driving." Number 3, how to practice detachment daily. Detachment is not built in one moment of strength. It's built through daily discipline. Start each morning with a mental reminder. Nothing outside of me can disturb my peace unless I allow it. This anchors your mind before the world starts testing you. When you face manipulation, maybe a partner guilt trips you or a coworker plays mind games, take a breath. Don't defend. Don't explain. Just observe. The Stoics called this the view from above. Imagine watching the situation from the sky. From that height, their drama looks small. Your peace looks big. At night, reflect. Ask yourself, did I control my emotions today, or did they control me? If you failed, don't judge yourself. Even Marcus Aurelius struggled daily. Just recommit to the practice. Emotional abuse loses power when you stop letting it define your day. Here's a practical trick. Write your thoughts down. When you feel manipulated, don't react. Journal. You'll see patterns clearer in writing than in conversation. Writing gives you distance, and distance gives you power. And let's not forget humor. Journaling about manipulation can feel like reviewing a bad Netflix series. Episode 5, Gaslighting returns. Keep your sense of humor. It keeps your humanity alive while you grow stronger. Number 4, reclaiming self-respect, boundaries with grace. Detachment without boundaries is like wisdom without courage. You must guard your peace. Emotional abusers test limits. They'll push, guilt, and twist just to see if you'll fold. The Stoics would tell you, you cannot be harmed without your consent. So stop consenting to disrespect disguised as love. Set clear limits calmly. Don't yell, don't explain too much. Just say, that's not acceptable. The more emotionless your tone, the more powerful your boundary. Emotional abusers expect chaos. When you respond with calm certainty, they're disarmed. Remember, boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. You're not cutting people off, you're filtering who deserves your peace. Not everyone does, and it's okay to walk away quietly, without revenge or anger. That's Stoic revenge, peace that confuses your enemies. Each time you enforce a boundary, your self-respect grows. Each time you ignore manipulation, your dignity strengthens. Over time, you stop chasing validation and start radiating inner confidence. That's when emotional abusers realize they've lost their favorite toy. And yes, you can smile while doing it. Nothing unsettles a manipulator more than someone who laughs, sets a boundary, and walks away like it's just another Tuesday. Number 5, becoming untouchable through rational serenity. When you master rational detachment, you become emotionally bulletproof. Not because you're heartless, but because your heart is protected by reason. You no longer absorb every insult or carry every guilt trip. You see it, understand it, and let it go. True freedom isn't being alone. It's being at peace even when surrounded by chaos. That's the Stoic way. You stop begging for understanding from people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop chasing closure from those who thrive on confusion. You simply detach. The irony? When you detach, you regain power. Your silence becomes strength. Your calmness becomes intimidation. And your peace becomes your loudest statement. Manipulators can't touch what they can't control. And once your emotions are yours again, you become untouchable. Remember this. Stoicism doesn't teach you to suppress emotions. It teaches you to own them. To feel pain but not drown in it. To face betrayal but not lose your balance. To be kind but never naive. That's the mark of true strength. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll look back and thank that emotional abuser. Because they taught you the lesson you needed most, how to master yourself. Number 6, why you can't save a manipulator. One of the biggest traps in emotional abuse is thinking you can fix the abuser. You tell yourself, maybe if I love them harder, they'll change. That's the illusion of control, the same one Stoicism warns against. You can't reason someone into empathy. You can only control your response. Trying to save them only drowns you deeper. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you can't control what others do, but you can control how you think about it. Emotional abusers are often emotionally immature. They project their wounds onto others. It's not your job to be their therapist. It's your job to protect your peace. When you accept that, you stop chasing closure and start finding clarity. The harsh truth is, some people only love you when you're easy to control. The moment you grow, they feel threatened. And that's not love. That's ownership disguised as care. Rational detachment helps you walk away without hate. Because hate is just another form of attachment. You let go, Not because they deserve peace, but because you do. You can't teach someone respect by tolerating disrespect. You teach them through silence, distance, and composure. Those three things hit harder than any argument ever could. And for the record, if emotional manipulation had a user manual, it'd probably say blame the victim, repeat daily. So don't fall for it. Just close the book and choose peace. Number 7, turning pain into P. Our Stoics never wasted pain. They turned it into wisdom. Seneca said, fire tests gold, and emotional abuse, as painful as it is, can become your fire, the test that reveals your inner gold. Rational detachment isn't about escaping pain. It's about transforming it into strength. When you step back and study what happened instead of just feeling it, something magical occurs. You evolve. You start noticing how easily people can manipulate those who are emotionally reactive. That awareness turns your wounds into wisdom. You learn to read energy, not just words. To hear intentions, not just tone. The moment you stop asking, why did they do this to me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? You've entered the Stoic zone. You shift from victim to philosopher, from hurt to healer. That's the mindset that emotional abusers can't touch. Pain becomes your teacher, not your enemy. And it's funny, once you heal, you can smell manipulation from miles away. It's like emotional spidey sense. Except instead of webs, you've got boundaries. So yeah, thank your pain, it built your armor. Just make sure it's armor, not walls. Walls keep everyone out. Armor lets you walk freely through the world. Strong, calm, and untouchable. Number 8, the silent strategy. When people attack your peace, they expect noise, arguments, tears, explanations. But silence? Silence drives manipulators insane. The Stoics understood that silence is not weakness, it's wisdom in motion. You don't have to explain your worth to someone committed to misunderstanding it. Rational detachment uses silence as a tool. When they throw emotional bait, don't bite. Just smile, breathe, and say nothing. Let their own words echo back at them. Most manipulators can't handle their own noise. They need your reaction to feel powerful. Without it, they crumble in their own chaos. Think of silence as your emotional shield. It's not about winning the argument. It's about refusing to play a game you've already mastered. When they demand drama, offer peace. When they provoke emotion, offer neutrality. When they want control, give them nothing. It's not about being passive. It's about being strategic. Silence isn't empty. It's full of intention. Every calm response, every unbothered look, every pause. It's a declaration of self-respect. And let's be honest, watching a manipulator lose their mind because you said nothing is its own kind of comedy. Free show, no ticket required. Number 9, reprogramming your mind, escaping the emotional TR. AP, emotional abuse often rewires your brain. You start associating love with anxiety, validation with peace, and silence with punishment. But Stoicism helps you reprogram that conditioning to separate love from control and peace from approval. The first step is recognizing your triggers. The second is reminding yourself, this emotion is real, but it's not truth. Rational detachment allows you to feel without being fooled. Every time you pause before reacting, you rewrite your emotional code. The Stoics practiced negative visualization, imagining loss and hardship so they wouldn't be enslaved by fear. You can use the same technique. Picture yourself detached from the abuser's control, calm and grounded. Feel that version of you, then live it. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. You stop being emotionally predictable. And that's the moment manipulators can't play you anymore. They can't find your buttons because you've disconnected the whole control panel. And when they accuse you of being cold or different, just smile and say, no, I'm just updated. Congratulations, you're now running Stoic version 2.0. Number 10, peace as the ultimate rev. The Stoics never chased revenge, they mastered themselves. That's the highest form of victory. When you use rational detachment to overcome emotional abuse, you win without fighting. You walk away in silence, but your peace echoes louder than their chaos ever could. The goal isn't to prove them wrong, it's to prove yourself right. To show that no one can destroy your inner world unless you hand them the keys. And once you reclaim that inner strength, no one can take it again. That's freedom. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." So don't become bitter. Become better. Don't let their darkness make you dim your light. Detach, observe, and move forward with grace. Your calmness will speak volumes. In time, you'll stop thinking about them altogether. And that's when you've truly won. Not when they apologize, but when you no longer need one. When their voice fades into silence, and your peace becomes your home. And maybe you'll even laugh. Not because it was funny, but because you survived it. You grew from it. And now, you shine because of it. Stoicism didn't just teach you to survive, it taught you to become untouchable.